Yeah.
Welcome to our new segment
Called Mina's Diary. Live and let die.
in which we reveal the happenings of our campaign in Barovia, the Curse of Strahd, from the perspective of Mina Dora Nikolova, the sorcerer elf, on the quest.
The Barovians is what they call themselves.
Okay.
The Barovians plus Mina.
So we left off last time. It's kind of like an intro to our campaign for the Mina's Diaries segment that we're starting today. Kind of introing who our characters are, what campaign we're doing. So if you want to go watch that first.
Or here.
No, you gotta make a box. That's too much.
Oh, you want to make a box? That's cute, actually.
Yeah,
That's really adorable.
There, see? So, what was I gonna say? So this is gonna be Mina's diary. We left off giving a description of our characters. Now we're gonna say we entered Barovia, so we're into the land now. Once you get in, you can't exactly leave, right?
Yeah.
There's a mist that surrounds it. The Festini people can kind of come in and out. That's like the one exception. But once you're in with our campaign or our group, we're kind of stuck there.
Yeah, you're definitely. It's the only way out is to die, and then little do most people know, if you die, your soul's stuck there. You don't leave. You're just there.
Yeah. So we kind of are in for the long haul. Barovia is a big place, though. The thing comes with a map. We actually have our map up on the wall. We put it on the table when we play.
We talk about DM tips. DM tips. Click here for more.
Yeah.
From a beginner DM to another, possibly less beginner DM.
But the map's kind of a cool thing because you can kind of get a perspective of how big Barovia actually is and kind of figure out where you want to go because there's so many little towns and places that you can visit. So when we started out, what did we do?
We talked about how you guys entered into Barovia. You guys met Vladimir that first night. Vladimir's a guard. He's an NPC that's kind of just been kind of with the group throughout the entirety of the thing. He's the guard, the town's guard. But yeah, no, so Vladimir is the head guard. He's been the guard for probably his whole life, but he's the one that's been kind of following them around the entirety of the campaign. And I definitely say that he's been friendly. Like, he gave you guys torches on the first day for free. He gave you guys some steaks. I would say he was the most willing to accept you out of most of the NPCs that you guys at least at the beginning, began to introduce or meet.
Yeah, I don't even remember a lot of the stuff we did way in the beginning. We kind of walked around and met with a lot of people. We ended up staying with people and getting to know people. One memorable instance was the Death House, which is in the book, yeah?
Mm-hmm. The Death House is in the book. But I kind of ran it a little bit differently. In the book, it's supposed to be like an actual house where you die. Like characters are supposed to kind of die in the Death House. Like, it's full of traps. The bottom, there's a shambling mound in the bottom. Sorry for spoilers. Spoilers. There's a shambling mound in the bottom, but I decided to change that, and I thought that, because I just didn't think that, I think that a lot in the campaign. I do love it. I think it's really good, but I think there's a lot to change, and there's a lot you can change. So at the bottom of the Death House, I actually decided to have a pit of skeletons. I was thinking of skeletons of past adventures, because really, the Death House was there, designed by Strahd, so that he can kind of weed out the weaklings and kill off the ones that aren't Death House. But it was kind of designed to kill off weaker level adventurers, so that Strahd could, whoever was left, then kind of manipulate or toy with whoever was there.
In the Death House?
After the Death House.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like, if you made it through the Death House, you're worthy of his time.
Oh, I see.
So I thought that instead of a shambling mound in the bottom, because it didn't seem kind of so evil or gothic horror-esque, I thought that there should be a pit of skeletons, and that there was like one wraith and that wraith would kind of continually summon skeletons throughout the entirety of the fight. So there'd be like another skeleton that would appear, another skeleton that would appear, and eventually you guys had like 7 or 8 skeletons on the board. And I was actually a little worried. I thought some of you guys were going to start dying.
Yeah, because we were level 1 at this point, so we didn't, and like, this was our first week playing, second week playing,
Second week playing.
We didn't really know what we were doing yet. So, the fact that we all survived was probably pretty impressive. But didn't we also meet the 2 kids in that?
Oh yeah, Rose and Thorn.
Yeah, those were memorable.
So I think for the first, I guess that was like the second half. That's like the basement level of the Death House. But to get to the basement, you have to first navigate the entirety of the house to get to the roof, and then go all the way down to the bottom.
Because wasn't there? It was a secret staircase down to the basement, so you had to go all the way up to the roof, find the secret room with the staircase all the way down to the basement. So it seems counterintuitive, but that's how it works. So it kind of forces you to like go through each room of the house and work your way up before you get to like the big bad place, which is in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of scared of it because it seemed kind of like there was like a cult thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we were a little wary.
Yeah, there were like skeletons. I kind of played up like chanting. There's supposed to be chanting in the book. So I kind of played up the chanting that like you would hear like some sort of like demonic presence kind of just like whispering in your ears. And then when they got to the actual room with the skeletons in it, there was actually no one there. There was like nothing there, except for the pile of skeletons in the back, and everyone was just like, I don't really know why. They kind of all just explored around and looked around a little bit, which was kind of fun.
Well, and then we met the 2 kids there. So
oh yeah,
Rose and Thorn.
Rose and Thorn
were
actually,
these like children. They look like children, but they were dead.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like ghosts.
Well, they were. Well, when you first met them, they were real kids. So I mean, Thorn gave Rhaegar.
Or the toy.
Yeah, he gave him a little stuffed animal. It was like a little, Day of the Dead, where they had like the skeletons and the painted skeletons. Imagine like a little stuffed bear, but just kind of styled and painted of the Day of the Dead style. Like, have you ever played like Little Big Planet? Like, imagine a little plush like that, but with a skeleton face on it. You can probably just cut that in right there.
Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
But anyways, little Thorn, his little boy, gave us to Rhaegar, his little token, right before we went into the Death House.
And at this point, everyone thought Rose and Thorn were alive. Like, no one, they all thought, I guess everyone thought that
there's 2 little kids on the street.
Yeah, just like playing outside this really kind of ominous looking house.
And then we went in the house, and how did we realize they were undead?
Well,
did we talk to them?
Well, yeah, you guys talked to them, but you guys got to the top, which is what we'll talk about in a second, too.
Oh, I don't remember a lot of this. This is back in September that we did this, so many months ago.
I remember for the first few sessions, I reread everything in the book, so I actually remember this really well. You guys kind of going through the whole first level of the floor, and I think the first level was like, there was like a kitchen maybe. There was like a trophy room where they saw a bunch of, what's it called? A bunch of like tigers and bears that were stuffed. And then they went up into the second floor, and then there was like a suit of armor that animated and attacked them. They smashed it to pieces. They wanted to keep the armor, but I said, nope. Cut that shit out! But yeah, no, there's an animated suit of armor that attacked them. And then they got to the top, which is kind of where Rose and Thorn's room were. And then they found the skeleton bodies that were locked inside this room. And in the book, or I guess let me ask, why do you think they were locked inside the room?
The kids?
Yeah, or the skeletons.
I don't remember.
Well, so the kids were locked inside the room because their parents were cultists, and while they were down in the basement killing people, doing all sorts of culty activities, painting with red paints and whatnot. Blood.
You say painting with red paint?
Red paint.
Red paint. Okay. I was like, what is that?
Painting with red paint. They would lock Rose and Thorn in the top. And then this cult actually worshipped Strahd. And then I think in the book, the cult accidentally kills, or not accidentally, don't accidentally kill somebody, but they killed an adventuring party that Strahd wanted to kind of toy with and wanted to kind of play around with. So yeah, the cult ended up killing. The cult ended up killing the adventuring party, and Strahd, in revenge, killed the entirety of the cults. And then poor Rose and Thorn are just locked up in the attic, in their room, and they end up starving to death. They die. Yeah. So then, what did you guys do with the bodies?
I think we ended up burying their bones to like set their spirits free, right? So we tried to help them in what ways we could. So yeah, and then did we still have the stuffed animal, or did we give it back?
No, they still have the stuffed animal, but they haven't actually used it. It was actually supposed to be magical.
What?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you guys have is supposed to be magical. Like, there's the sword of Abershult that they got, that if they kind of returned it to Abershult's soul, I kind of wrote that into the book, he would bless it, and it would become like a +1 or +2 sword of lightning, which would be kind of dope. You shoot a lightning spell out, which would be kind of awesome.
I don't know we had that ability. So anyways, yeah, we had that interaction with the kids. That was what was most memorable to me in the death house. And then we tried to battle those wraiths down in the basement. Didn't we get like cloaks in there too? But anything that we took outside the death house turned to dust.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can take anything you want in the death house. It's perfectly preserved for 400 years
inside the death house.
And everything looks 100% fine. Everything is not aged at all. But then the moment you take it outside the death house, it ages instantly. So they wanted to take all these cloaks. I was like, oh yeah, sure, you find some cloaks. And they're like, oh, I want a cloak, I want a cloak, I want a cloak. The second you start giving one person something, they all want it. So they all wanted this cloak, and they all put it on. And then as they leave the house, because they're running out at this point, the house kind of withers and dies and ages as they leave. And then all their cloaks that they had on start to wither, age, and kind of fall off, begin to rot, some of them.
Yep. That was disappointing. Because we finally like got to read all these cool things, and then useless. Yeah, that's the death house. And then after we left, geez, that's a lot of talking right there. When we left the death house, where did we go?
You guys decided to go. You guys met Irina. Irina's the.
She comes up in the book, so she's a unique character. Where at first you think she's just like a friendly lady, but then you find that she's got a very unique backstory, and she has a connection with our vampire lord Strahd.
So she's her soul is the same soul that was in Coltia, which is the woman that Strahd loved, that her brother was actually
long ago, like 400 years ago, Strahd. So it's like reincarnation of the soul. So we meet Irina and I think her brother. Did we have our first interaction with Strahd then, or was that later?
That was after.
Okay, so we meet them, and we find out Irina's this nice lady, and she's had some, like, fleeting encounters with Strahd, or he'll come in and see her. But he hasn't really, like, sucked her blood yet, or done anything real bad, but we find out, like, she's got this connection to him, and so we don't really know much yet, but we're kind of, our interest is piqued, and we're like, okay, if we're around Irina, Strahd might be in the premises, or he might try to come back to her, because they got this link between them. But instead, didn't we end up going off and we found some witches?
Yeah, so you guys ended up taking them with you on the road to Valkey. And then on Valkey, there was the old bone grinder. But it's one of the chapters, and it's about these witches that kind of took over this little town. Not this town, this mill. And these witches live in the mill, and they grind up little kids' bones, and they turn them into pastries, so these dream pastries. And these dream pastries kind of give an escape to anyone who eats them for a few hours.
It's kind of like a drug.
It really is. It's like kind of like heroin. Like heroin will give you an escape. But what did you guys do? I'll find it.
So we went there, and we heard there was like a kid up being held in the top, like they were gonna turn this kid into a dream pastry.
Because I think I told you guys that there was a kid that was missing in the first
yes.
town.
So we knew there was a kid there, and there were also 3 witches or hags in the house, or the windmill. So we went in there and we talked to them. They seemed reasonable enough to us because we weren't kids, but they were definitely hiding the fact that there was a kid up there, and what they were doing was really bad. I think we ended up having one of our party members, Drubus, the dwarf paladin, I think he tried to sneak upstairs, but there was a witch upstairs, so we were only talking to like one or two of them downstairs. And so when he went upstairs, they called him out, and they were like, "No, you need to leave." Like, kind of kicked us out. Like, they knew we were snooping around, and they didn't like that. So we left, and we realized we weren't in a place to fight these hags. They had a really high
challenge rating. So keep in mind, there's like, they're all level 1 or 2. I think they got up to level 2. But all these hags are like CR like 5 or 6, and there's no way they can. I mean, they had struggles.
And there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we weren't really in a place to just duke it out with them. So one of our members had a lovely idea where we basically boarded up their door.
Well, first thing I gotta talk about. So Drubus went upstairs, saw the kid, and then at that point I told everyone to roll initiative, and then everyone rolled initiative, and I went up first, I think, and I just started shooting off like witch bolts at them.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I remember you guys all got hit by witch bolts, or a few of you got hit by witch bolts, and they're like, "I'm gonna die next hit." So they're all like, I want to leave. So like one after one, everyone just like left the little room,
Okay.
and then you guys leave there. And at that point, I just like let the hags kind of just like after they left, like just kind of threw a few spitting words at them, and then just let them be. And then they decide what did you guys decide to do?
Okay. Then we decided we can board up their door to lock them in the house, and then someone had the bright idea that we set the windmill on fire. This ends up becoming a routine practice for our members of the campaign. We realized that setting things on fire can get a lot done. So we set it on fire, and now at this point, Danny had joined our campaign as of this.
I want to say it was that session.
And so Danny is he a half elf?
He's a full elf.
Okay, he's an elf bard, who's just this happy-go-lucky, sweet, charismatic guy. That just wants to please people and play his little water phone.
Oh, yeah, the water
Google
phone.
it. It's real uncomfortable music.
Yeah, you should find a video and actually listen to it.
It's like eerie weird, but he likes his water phone. So Danny realizes he's got a magical spell that's Featherfall. So he decides, well, we light up and burn the building so that we can get the witches. He's gonna hop up high. I think someone helped him get up onto the top of the windmill, because we know the kid is upstairs on the top floor. And so he goes in there, gets the kid, and uses Featherfall to jump out the window while we light up the windmill on fire. And so it's really convenient for us, because we were able to burn all 3 witches, send them off, kill them all, without hurting ourselves, and we saved the kid. So we lucked out.
Actually, you guys only killed 2 of them.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there for that 0.5 session. I forgot. Got it. So I said that when the whole windmill was burning down, they were all sitting down. Literally, imagine kind of like a peaceful afternoon where you're all sitting on a grass field and there's like a big bonfire. Yeah. And these witches are just dying and screaming. And then I said that maybe one was screaming. You see a ball of flame jump off and fly into the woods.
I thought all of them died and that there was a 4th one out and about.
I forget. No, because covens come in 3s. So there was one of the 3 that lived.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We are debating what we did. Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was 4 witches. I thought we burned all 3. But I guess, yeah, one of them left and ran off. Okay. So we watched the one witch leave, and then what?
Then they all ended up going to Valky. And Valky is the city that they kind of spend most of their time in, I think, for the entirety of the campaign.
Yeah, we should cut it off there because we are really getting into this. We'll continue with Mina's diaries next time.